Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and to our coffee times together. So today I'm here with the next video talking about some of the best horror comedies. So today we are going to be talking about the 90s. So I have compiled all the ones that I wanted to mention in this one video. If you missed the two videos that I did on the 80s horror comedies, I'm gonna leave the links down below for you guys. So let's go and check the ones for the 90s.
It's coffee time.
While I was doing this list, I just realized that most of these movies are movies that are the first horror comedies that I ever watched, because I was born in the 80s, but I was still very young to watch horror comedies. But from the beginning of the 90s, I started watching horror. Probably too young. Probably, I don't know why I was allowed to watch these movies even in the cinema when I was so young. I was underage, but I have such good memories of some of these movies, so I am thinking about revisiting some of these while we are all staying home, just, you know, for some good heartwarming feeling. So let's go. Let's start with 1990, because we have Gremlins 2, The New Batch, and this is a direct sequel from the Gremlins movie from 1984. And we have again Gizmo and the character played by Zach Galligan that have to face a bunch of really crazy gremlins in this one. They multiply in New York and they have to be contained. Now, this second movie was more made cartoonish, more like a comedy on purpose, and they even like make fun and reference other movies like Rambo, The Wizard of Oz, The Phantom of the Opera. And it's just supposed to be a lot more fun. It's way less serious than the first one. You can also consider the first one a kind of like a horror comedy movie, but the second one is the one that has the most comedy in it. I loved both so much, and it's a movie that I love to rewatch, both of them around the Christmas season. There's something about those movies that I just love to rewatch them. Also from 1990 we have The Willies. This is a horror anthology in which two brothers and a cousin sit down around a campfire to tell urban legends. I also love to revisit this one. There is something really cool about it. The atmosphere is really cool. I really love all the little stories that they tell. So if you're looking for a horror anthology and if you have not checked this one, I would recommend it. Another one from 1990 is Tremors. This one started a huge franchise, and this is a story in which the character played by Kevin Bacon and his brother want to live the desert life. They think it's really dull, but when they want to skip town, they come across some deaths, and there are some natural readings on the earth, and they end up basically fighting these monster worm-like creatures, and it is really hilarious. But it's one of those guilty pleasures of mine. I really enjoy this movie, so if you like horror comedy with monster creature, you will definitely love this one. In 1991 we have one of the greatest ones, and this is The People Under the Stairs. This was written and directed by Wes Craven, and it's about a young fool that decides to break into the house of their really mean, really greedy landlords, and he finds out that these two adult siblings that are also committing incest, a lot of stuff happening. They have several boys that have been mutilated, and they're being kept in this huge creepy house under the stairs, and this is a movie that has aged pretty well in my opinion. This was inspired by a real story from the late 1970s in which a burglary was committed, and when the police went there to investigate, they found that the family had kept the kids in prison against their will. So there's that. From 1992 we have Brain Dead, also known as Dead Alive, and this is a New Zealand movie by Peter Jackson that apparently took him a long time to do, with nearly no budget, and this is kind of like a super cheesy, funny zombie story. The film follows Lionel that lives in a Victorian mansion with his mom Vera, and she doesn't like that he has a relationship with the shopkeeper called Paquita, a Spanish one. And basically Vera gets bitten by a monkey that starts some sort of like zombie apocalypse, and she starts infecting people in the town. From 1992, we have one of my personal faves, and that is Death Becomes Her, starring Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, and Goldie Hawn. And this one is special to me because even though it's from 1992, so I was then 9 years old, I went to watch this movie to the cinema with my grandma. And it's the only movie I've ever watched with my grandma in the cinema, and I will always treasure that memory. Plus the movie is pretty funny. It is about these two rival women that, you know, their mission in life is to stay young forever, and they take this special potion to make them young forever, but then once they die their bodies start to kind of decay. And it is just so funny. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I should rewatch it. And also the cast is fantastic. From 1994, we have Serial Mom, and this is a horror comedy but also kind of more a thriller movie, and we follow a suburban mom that apparently has everything, the perfect life, and in one meeting at school, basically one of the teachers says something bad about one of her sons, so she decides to attack this specific teacher in the parking lot, and that kind of gives her taste for more blood. So the police start to investigate. From 1994, we have Cemetery Man. This is the lovely combination of love and undead. We basically here have an Italian caretaker of a little cemetery that is searching for love, but at the same time he keeps defending himself against the undead that keep rising from the graves. From 1995, we have El Día de la Bestia, the Day of the Beast, and I also remember going to the movies to watch this one. And this is a Spanish movie about a metal fan, a psychic, that are helping a priest to find the infant Antichrist at Christmas night in Madrid, and it is hilarious. But I think you have to like and enjoy Spanish humor movies because it's different from your regular Hollywood comedies, you know what I mean? But I definitely think this is one of like hidden Spanish gems. From 1996, we have The Frighteners. So this is a comedy by Peter Jackson, and this one is following Frank that after an accident he can see ghosts. So what he does is he uses this ghost to make them haunt houses and then ask the people that live there for a fee to get rid of the ghosts. And this one I also went to watch to the cinema, and it's really funny because this is a little of personal story, but I really liked this boy back then. I asked him out, he said yes, I took him to the cinema, and I chose this movie. So there's that. I went to see this movie on a date, and I was 13, so this is the kind of movie I would take you on a date at 13 years old. From 1996, we have Bordello of Blood, and here we have Catherine that has a brother that is only a troublemaker called Caleb. He does disappear one day, so he hires this private detective to try to find him, and when they track him down, they realize that he is in a brothel that is being run by this powerful vampire called Lilith. Now, this is a very stupid movie, but I just think it's really funny. So if you like the typical fun stuff, you know, in horror movies that don't particularly are super smart or intelligent, but they're just like meant to be fun, like most of these movies on this list, honestly, this is a must watch that a lot of people have not seen. And the last one from 1999 is Idle Hands, and I remember this one also very vividly because I've always loved this cast. We have Devon Sawa, we had Seth Green, we had Jessica Alba, and this was a perfect kind of Halloween movie for teenagers. Basically, the main character played by Devon Sawa finds his parents as headless Halloween decoration, and his hand starts to have a life of its own, and it goes on a killing spree. It becomes like a killer hand. And this is just the perfect cheesy teenage comedy, and another one that I just, hold a special place for in my heart. And these were all the ones that I wanted to mention for you guys. I am sure there are many more out there, so let me know down below which ones were your favorite. Are any of the ones that I have mentioned, or do you have any other ones that you really truly enjoyed? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope that you enjoyed this little list that I put together, and maybe you find here some comedy horror that you can watch these days while we're all responsibly staying home, staying safe. I hope you're all healthy and your families are healthy as well. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and if you want to follow me on the social media, all my links are in the description box down below, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye.